I don't know that I was really what to expect when we first started doing this. It was just a new idea. It was something, a new way for cities to communicate with people, and the city of Moore decided to do it, and we really didn't know at the time if it would work or not.
We started talking about just a better way to reach out to our community and our citizens, a better way to convey kind of what we were doing at City Hall, some things that were going on, some efforts that we were engaging in with regard to retail. And we do have, and have always had, access to our cable access channel.
It was an uncommon thing. You didn't see municipalities, as a general rule of thumb, utilizing their cable channel. And if they did, it was very minimally. It was a PowerPoint presentation or some static image that would go up there with an announcement.
But I just didn't feel like we were using it to the best of its ability. I didn't exactly know what I meant by that. I just knew that we had this amazing medium and opportunity, and yet we probably weren't leveraging it. Miraculously, I, as a Department of One, received a phone call one day, and it was a guy named Brent Wilbarger, and he said, "Hey, I am working on a product that we're using in Ada, and we are running it on their cable access channel, and it's just basically, you know, great stories about the community and pushing that information out to the citizens." And I said, "I'd like you to come by."
Sure enough, within a month, we were making our first episode. And welcome to this inaugural edition of Inside Moore, a brand new television show all about our city. On each episode, the first episode of Inside Moore was mainly about economic development. They had just opened Gordman's.
I'm Jeff Gordman. Thank you for being here today to celebrate the grand opening of Moore's most unique shopping experience.
Gordman's recently became the newest nationwide retailer to open for business in Moore. With the investment,
they said that it was one of their strongest openings in the history of Gordman's when they first opened here, and we heard that story I don't know how many times from almost every new major retailer that came to Moore. It was the same line.
We were amazed at the impact it was having on our local businesses. Just a local business that maybe that had been here for 20 plus years. We go in and do a spotlight show on them, and their business increases by 30% within the month following the shows after they started airing.
In fact, we did one episode and then we did another test episode, and then quickly it evolved into 2 shows, Inside Moore and Moore Business Spotlight.
from the outside, Royal Bavaria Restaurant looks fairly unassuming. The European woodwork and Bavarian flag only hint at what you'll find inside. Jörg Cunier has spared no expense in making sure a visit to Royal Bavaria is a visit to Germany.
There was sort of this inkling that things were happening in Moore and new things were coming, and they were right on the cusp of it at that time. They really felt like Moore was getting ready to experience some growth. Lo and behold, it was.
Last year at this time, the east side of I-35, just south of 19th Street, looked something like this. Now that something new has arrived. JCPenney is the first of the new shops at Moore, an upscale shopping center that will eventually encompass the entire strip all the way north to 19th Street.
We just assume that that's the way a city grows, and that's the way it's supposed to happen, and that's the way a bustling suburb comes to be. And I will tell you that there are tons of other cities in the state of Oklahoma and in the nation that they don't see growth like that. You don't add square footage like we've added square footage.
The curtains are rising on the largest movie screen in the world, the new Warren World-Class IMAX. We'll show you all the opening festivities, including a little help from the Moore Fire Department.
Everyone that we've talked to, every time we, go grab a Coke for lunch or whatever, people are like, "Oh my gosh, Target, we're so glad you're here. We've been waiting forever."
And now the wait is over. Target has officially arrived in Moore. The moment of truth has finally arrived. Moore now has its own Chick-fil-A. We'll show you the lengths some Moore residents took to be the first in line.
So much has happened in the 10 years that we've been doing this show. We've lived a couple of lifetimes, and we've had nationally declared disasters.
In 1999, Moore was hit by one of the most powerful tornadoes on record.
GLA, new update. It's approaching 119th and Western, 119th and Western. It's about quarter mile southwest of the intersection, quarter mile wide. It is doing major damage to my southwest.
In 2003, another powerful tornado struck along the very same path.
It's crossing eastern right now.
First thing we knew, it was on top of us and we were in trouble and had no place to go, so we wrote Evan out in the closet in the house.
It seemed like it was just instantaneous and over in just a minute's time.
The Weather Service had one of their briefings that morning, and it's one of those days where you can kind of feel it in the air too.
We had no idea that it had done this, and when we come out, everything's gone. I mean, the whole storage place is gone.
It's the craziest thing I've ever been in my life. I thought we were really gone.
Our new facility, your new facility, will be a state-of-the-art $29 million structure designed to serve your current needs.
We've had, added new schools, churches, businesses, roads.
Southmore High School is on its way. We'll take you into the construction zone and show you what Moore's newest high school will look like. Southmore High School is massive, capable of accommodating 2,000 students.
And then as you proceed on in here, you'll step into the open area here of the concourse that runs the length of the building. This gives you an idea of the size of this building. It's just slightly under 300,000 square feet.
This is a ribbon cutting unlike any other. It marks the start of a new era in Moore, a new tradition for the community, all wrapped up in a brand new building. Southmore High School is open for business.
The city itself chooses through this process to document itself in a video format. And so they're actually, every episode is a piece of history that's been documented into a video file that can be pulled up 50 years from now. It's like a little time capsule every single episode.
It's a way in which, again, we can capture our history, we can capture things that are happening, we can look back over it. I've used those shows so many times to refer back to something. Sometimes it's very important. We need to go back and see truly what date did this happen, or what did something look like prior to a certain time.
Moore resident Edwin Shaw has a collection unlike any you've ever seen. He came upon it by chance in an apartment in Munich, Germany. When the 94-year-old pulls it out of storage, he opens the door to another era.
I was Chief Warrant Officer, Regimental Supply, and that was where I was during the whole war. I was in supply work.
Work that sent Edwin on a journey across Germany and ultimately to the doorstep of a rather unexpected address, the Munich apartment of Adolf Hitler.
They were looking for a place.
I love the stories that we do on our citizens. I'm not surprised at the breadth of amazing people that we have here. I mean, it's just incredible how many people here, and they do such great things and such good things for the community.
Most evenings, just around dusk, this is where you'll find Robert Kraus, on his wheelchair, pushing as hard as he can up and down his street. Kraus is in training. His training may look a bit different as both of his legs are paralyzed, but then the sport he's training for looks a bit different. A member of Team USA and a contender for the Olympic Games.
Let's talk for a minute about the basic format of the show. We call it a news magazine format. And so it's a little longer than what you would see on like the nightly news, channel, one of the TV channels where their stories are very short and very fast. These stories have room to breathe, and so they go a little longer. They may be 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 minutes. By the time the show's over, hopefully the viewer is saying, I get it. Okay, I understand what they're talking about, and I understand why this is happening, and now I know why that road is torn up.
That's the thing that I'm really proud of and excited about, is the fact that I never worry about the quality of the picture or the sound quality or anything, where everything that we do is going to be quality.
Well, the channel has evolved a little bit from just a show to 2 shows to now we have a lot more dynamic elements even than that. We have long form PSAs, we have mini segments, we call them Inside More Snapshots, that we put on the channel that are kind of self-contained segments. They're not wrapped up in a big long episode, and I think we'll begin to see more and more evolution in that direction.
What can you do with half a cent? You can't buy bubblegum. You can't buy a new look. But you can improve residential streets and provide equipment to emergency medical services.
So now we're doing things like infographics that are built into the show and animations and such things that allow people to really see the stories in different ways, even than we've done before. And being able to have it on YouTube and on the internet and so forth, where you're not just limited to television to watch it. The technology continues to be an important thread through all of this. The show is symbolic of what the city does as a visionary type of community. And from the economic development director to the city manager to the city council, being able to have the wherewithal to do these sort of projects, to get consensus on them and make it work for 10 years is really quite phenomenal.